Hello, glorious people, and happy Monday to you. I've been having so much fun, obviously, doing what I do in the world, and yet it's even more fun when I'm able to connect with other people and learn what they do and collaborate and share sexy stories, etc. And so today, who I've invited to come on IGTV is Dr. Martha Lee. And she is a sexologist and she has this cool sugar and spice festival. And I want to introduce her to you and I want to learn more from her, how she got into this so that we can all learn more, express more, play more, etc. And so as usual here on IG Live, I'm learning how to let people on. So let me see where I'm supposed to do the adding people on part. I never remember which button. No, not that button. Okay. Invite. There we go. So there's, what do I do? Go live, add to your live video. Go. I did it right. Review, go live. There we did it! Yay! Hello,
Yeah, I was
beautiful.
so nervous.
Oh, isn't it the first time you do the whole technology thing? It's a little nerve-wracking, isn't it? Yeah. We did it. Fist pump, kisses. Yeah.
I'm happy.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Martha, for being with me today. I've been looking forward to getting to know you. I have so many questions.
Thank you.
First off, where are you in the world?
Yeah, I'm in Singapore and it's 1 a.m. here now.
Oh, sweetheart, I'm so sorry. Thank you for staying awake. My God. Well, let's just keep it to a good 15 minutes because you need to get to bed.
Yeah, I've been following your work actually, so I'm very happy to be with you.
Oh, that's so kind of you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's true,
So
it's
let's
true.
start at the beginning. How did you get to be, is it proper to say a sexologist? Is that like the
Yes.
proper, why did you decide to be a sexologist?
Yeah, I was at the crossroads of my life. I realized that I was actually good in counseling people because I was
Yes.
doing volunteer counseling, and there was this spat of paper, newspaper articles in Singapore a few years, many years ago, while I was at this crossroads, and it was about rising teenage pregnancies and STI rates, and I was like thinking, wait a minute, I actually have never seen sex talked about in positive ways, other than how to snare a guy, or like negative ways,
Yeah.
and I just got sick of it, like like somebody needs to talk about how amazing sex is.
Oh, I
So
love
I
you. Yeah.
so I went and got my doctorate and started my practice 12 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. You do not look, you look so youthful, but wow, 12 years ago,
Yeah.
your whole doctorate. Wow.
Yeah. So I
So,
joke about it. I say I look young because I talk about sex all the time.
good. You talk about it and hopefully you have it too all the time. So here you wanted to talk about the positiveness of sex. How were you raised? Did you have parents that talked to you about sex, or was this your own awakening?
Yeah, so a lot of people assume that I come from a very sexually open family, or I had a lot of sexuality education. I had something different.
Yeah.
But really, I think it was because my mom just gave me hints of sex positivity growing up.
Yeah.
And I just somehow had this idea that sex was something that was amazing and that I could look forward to it. So when I became sexually active and I looked around, I realized all my friends were either afraid of sex, didn't like sex, had painful sex,
Wow.
and I thought something is wrong. Like why am I the only one that seems to really think sex is important?
Mm. Thank you. So give us a couple ways that we can shift our point of view around sex. So tell me, if you were to answer or finish the sentence, when I think about my vagina, my yoni, how would you finish that sentence?
When I think of my vagina, I think of it as my inner centum.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Wow. Tell
yeah.
me more. That's so beautiful. Yeah.
Yes, I started to call. Okay, this may not be politically correct, but because I was a Christian, so so they call it the Holy of Holies.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when you go into a temple, you go into a church, first you go past the gates, and then there's the inner courtyard,
Yeah.
and then you get to go into the altar. And
Yes.
so for me, the vagina is an opening that we
Yeah.
can control. And
Yes.
then there's the cervix, which also opens up at certain
Yes.
times of the month. So I call it the Holy of Holies.
I love you. Wow. Yes, yes, yes. The Holy of Holies, for sure. Okay, I didn't understand that the cervix opens up a little bit every month. Tell me the science of that.
Yes, it opens when we are ovulating, and it allows the sperm to go in. Other times of the month, it's like, nope, closed for business, can't come in.
Interesting. What happens once you go through menopause like me? Like I don't have any more estrogen that's happening anymore. What happens to it then?
Um, I'm not sure. I guess
I, I don't believe it.
uh, there are still the energetic changes that happens to the body, because the body is very much connected to the moon, and
Yes.
so you will definitely still feel an energetic cycle in your body.
Mm, got it. Got it. I also love sex. I am so grateful to still be juicy in my menopause or what have you. And I realize a lot of times sex can become painful. Women can feel more dry. What are the physical and emotional ways we can become more alive, radiant, and juicy in our sexuality?
Yeah, I feel that being I call it yummy, juicy, and sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I love you calling it yummy.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's very much a state of mind. If you have a very positive sex attitude, when you feel the changes to your body and you're feeling discomfort, you're feeling pain and dryness, you would do something about it. And it could be as simple as getting a lubricant that is
Yeah.
really good.
Hmm.
And there are some very, very amazing, completely natural lubricants that we can use. And people assume that just because it's dry or painful, that it's not meant to be. When in reality, you can supplement your body with the lubricants. You can actually apply it when you're not having sex, and also in preparation of penetration. So you can just use the lubricant as a moisturizer, just like how we moisturize our face.
Mm. Mm, I love that. And so are you saying like coconut oil? Do you have some other suggestions?
Yes, so coconut oil is controversial because coconut oil does kill bacteria. So there are people who feel that over long-term use, coconut oil can actually mess up the very sensitive pH balance of our vagina. So
Ah,
there's moisturizing lubricants that are available on the market. There's a liquid silk, which is actually a silicone lubricant, but apparently quite body safe. Although my current favorite is Sutil, Sutil,
okay.
Sutil.
Okay.
It's completely natural, and it's a very long-lasting water-based lubricant. It also is vegan, condom-friendly. It's safe to use with toys because it's a water-based lubricant,
Oh,
and it's very
good.
moisturizing. It's very moisturizing, and it's not sticky even when it's dry.
Oh, good. I want my one of my assistants is watching, so I want you to find that so we can put it in the newsletter, please. Sutil. So that's really good. Is it true from a scientific point of view that if a woman is dry, does it mean that she's not turned on by her partner? Does it mean that she thinks she's not sexy? Could it be a completely scientific reason, not an emotional reason?
Yeah, so for a very long time, I used to fall into this misconception that as long as you're sufficiently aroused, you will be wet enough. However, it's not true, because some bodies are just not able to produce enough lubricant, no matter how aroused they are. and so it is important to supplement it. And also when there's dryness, even for people who haven't gone through menopause, when there's dryness or when sex has gone on for too long, penetrative sex has gone on for too long, then the dryness can lead to micro tears in the vagina, which is also a gateway for bacterial infection. So I get that a lot, actually, to be honest, because I'm very sensitive, and because I have had partners who are not comfortable with using lubricants, and I have clients who have partners who are not comfortable with them using lubricants. So one of the things that women end up doing is they just do it. They just apply the lubricant before sex.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Put it on yourself before sex. Got it. Got it.
Yeah, they do it in the bathroom, and I wish that we didn't have to do that. But I'd rather that we not be in pain.
Of course. Yeah, of course, of course. How do you counsel people to share so that it's not personal? It's not that I'm not turned on by you. I just require some extra. Or even as you're having sex, how to pause and bring it up. How do you encourage women to ask for what they need, feel confident, this is the holy of holies and we need to take care of her? Like, how do you encourage women to speak about this so that they can have comfortable sex, more sex, and pleasurable sex?
Yeah, it's a very good question, because culturally, I think the ego of the person with the penis is always very sensitive. So I still think it's very important to bring it up, saying that I want to be honest with you, I want to be vulnerable with you, and this is, I have done some research, and articles have said that it has nothing to do with the sexual attraction, and it has to do with how different bodies are different. So being scientific about it and bringing up references can be useful.
Oh, that's a really good idea. That's a really great idea. Thank you. Moving back towards the, and I wanted to just answer one of the questions that came through. Someone was saying, can you suggest natural lubricants for people living in other countries? Is that SUTIL that you recommend available everywhere? Like,
yeah, I believe that you can actually import it into your country. However, I understand for some countries, they don't have that kind of accessibility. Like, for instance, in countries like Thailand or even Indonesia, sex products actually get banned, and they are not allowed to be imported. So I understand what Maria is saying, like how do we then make our own? I think you can actually look online to see if there are natural lubricants. But what ends up happening is a lot of people just use coconut oil.
Okay. Okay. How do you, in terms of allowing a woman to enjoy her body, her pleasure, feel more sex positive, sex sacred, holy of holies, where do you believe sex toys or self-pleasuring and masturbation comes into one's rituals to fall in love with their bodies as a divine temple?
Yes, I feel it's really, really important. Somehow innately, for most people, there is a sense of shame when it comes to masturbation and touching themselves. And this is because we masturbate privately, secretly, and quickly. We kind of just do it because we are afraid to get caught. And so there's that innate shame that does happen repeatedly with masturbation. So when people have the opportunity and they can create a space for themselves, I would suggest to do prolonged masturbation, to really just sit with that discomfort and to do that inner self-talk that actually is okay, it's okay, I'm safe, and to really give your body the time that it needs to start to open up, and to really give yourself permission to enjoy the pleasure. Because I think when we are used to rushing, then there's that sense of guilt and shame that can come up. So in order to heal our sexuality, our relationship with self-love and masturbation, I feel prolonged masturbation is one of the things that we can do.
I love this. And so like give yourself a good like half hour, are you saying? Or like an hour and a bath and like the whole thing. I love this. I love this. Um, I'm in a new relationship and the idea of, and I've interviewed other people obviously for, 20 years, but the idea of in a partnership that it's not shameful that you have sex with your partner and you have your masturbation time alone. It doesn't mean the partner isn't enough, that we
Yeah.
can have it all. What are your thoughts about when you're in a relationship, speaking about masturbation to your partner?
I I love how I have clients who have penises who are not apologetic about wanting their solo time
Mm,
because they see as a way to indulge. So why
mm,
is it that women tend to not see it that way? So it's
mm,
really important that we see that we are on an ongoing journey with
mm.
ourselves and with our sexuality, with our bodies, and our body goes through changes. And also there are certain times and places where our partners are available, and then there are times when our partner is not. And even
Right.
if they are available, there are also times that we just want to be by ourselves,
Yep.
because masturbation is self-love, and it's not just about rushing, it's also about nurturing yourself.
Mm,
So the intent will guide the session. And so just now you mentioned, yeah, 30 minutes. So in my second book, Orgasmic Yoga, I actually talk about treating masturbation as a form of meditation. So when you
mm.
do something long enough, you kind of drop into it,
Yes.
and you go into the flow. And
Yes.
this is when you are not doing, but the doing is doing you. It's just like
Yes.
you're just going through the, you're just like in some kind of a flow state, basically.
Yes.
and
Yes.
and when we are in that, and we are not in a rush, and we are taking our time, this is when masturbation can also calm down our nervous system, and can also be very, very healing, especially for people who have had traumatic experiences,
Yes.
sexually or otherwise. We need
Yes.
to heal ourselves, and
Yes.
actually self love or solo sex or is actually healing and nurturing ourselves.
I love that you're bringing this up, this whole somatic healing and the sacredness of it. On my meditation altar is as a vibrator. And sometimes when I'm meditating, I just choose to be one with all of life and have a beautiful masturbation ceremony. And so I love that you're bringing in the yoga of it, the meditation of it, the slowing down, the prolonging of it. And that self-pleasure. Masturbation is self-love. Like that is a bumper sticker right there, so that we can honor this energetic flow. Because for me, Dr. Martha, there's obviously the joy of self-pleasure, there's the joy of sexuality, and yet by being loving of my body and allowing this sacred sexual energy to come through on a more regular basis, I'm more confident, I have healthier boundaries, I speak up more, I'm more successful in my career. I know my my yeses and my nos more clearly. Like it affects other areas of my life. What have you found personally and with your clients when they do make their self-pleasuring, their self-love practice?
A lot of my clients don't do it, to be honest. And I love how you are sharing how you do it. And this is why you are different. This is why you do come across very beautiful and radiant, yummy, juicy, and sexy. It's because you do more for yourself, and so you show up in the world in a different way. And if only we can actually acknowledge that, oh, this person just didn't show up, looking this way. This person actually invested in themselves and nurtured themselves, then the way you show up is different. So clients who are able to really connect with their sexuality, I can tell, because they do have this allure about them that makes
Mm.
me want to get to know them. And these
Mm.
people tend to not be my clients. The people that I am drawn to are usually the yummy, juicy people. And it's because we are all recognizing each other, and we are celebrating life.
Yes, yes. Just like you said at the beginning of this, the holy holies, right? As we go so deep within ourselves, this is my experience, and we heal the shame and we love our bodies, even as they age, even as they do what they do, like to still love our sweet bodies and allow this life force energy. to me, it's about surrender, Dr. Martha. Like when I allow myself to have pleasure or have an orgasm, it's brave. It's courageous. I'm letting go. I'm letting go of control. I'm facing the unknown. A lot of emotion often comes up. And I learn to love myself in the unknown. I learn to let go of trying to figure it all out. I learn to surrender into a power bigger than me. And I feel like my body is a gateway and a portal to support my spiritual growth. So how have you grown as a goddess? Yes, you're a
Oh,
sexologist, but how have you grown in your own self-worth and as a goddess? Yeah.
oh, thank you so much for being you. I mean, I'm really enjoying looking at you. You're so beautiful, and I have really admired you for a long time. I'm serious.
Oh,
So yeah, so I want to share that actually, um, um, you know, the orgasmic yoga practice, the prolonged self love masturbation practice came from my teacher. And when I was first introduced to it, I had a lot of anger about it. Like, how dare you try to change the way I masturbate? Like, what's wrong with the way I masturbate? Like, all these protests, you know, and what's wrong with quick? And when I really, when I, being the Singaporean, like efficient, you know, like don't waste
yeah.
time, chop chop. It was actually during the time that I was going through my second divorce, and I was devastated. And my friend, my colleague, reminded me and said, "Martha, you're a sexologist. Whatever you do, don't shut down your sexuality."
Mm,
So I said, "Well, yeah, I'm in pain. So what should I do?" So she said, "Go back to orgasmic yoga." And
yeah.
so actually, that was what pushed me to claim that goddess side of myself.
Mm,
Because if not for shit that happens in our lives, a lot of times we wouldn't think that there's anything to change. So when I did that, and I dropped into the 30 minutes for 30 days commitment with myself
yeah.
contract, I I I did feel the anger, the resentment, the tiredness, the I have better things to do, all these protests coming up.
Yes.
However, as each day I dropped more and more into my body, and I kept telling myself, like, what's the rush? You know, I instead of trying to save the world, I really need to put this time and energy into myself. And that was when I became more and more gentle, more and more patient, more and more compassionate with myself.
Yeah.
And so when I changed, everything around me changed. My practice changed, the way I talk to my clients changed, the kind of clients I attracted changed, um, and was just able to draw people easily, you know, as
Yeah.
opposed. Yeah, so we think that you know, we are so conditioned to think that we need to work hard to
Yeah.
get results. In reality, who we are will attract the results.
Yeah.
And this is exactly all the things that you're talking about.
Mm,
So I would say that to be a goddess is really to understand life is not just about doing, it's also about being, and
yeah.
taking time to realize life is not a race, it's a journey.
Mm. Thank you. I'm literally on the verge of tears right now. Like I needed to hear this. I've been applying to Y Combinator this week. It's an accelerator, like a startup for funding for my Heartmates, the new partnering app that I'm putting out. And I've been working really hard yesterday and really hard today, and I'm going to work all this week to get my application in on time. And I'm here to serve humanity with this and talk about sacred sexuality. But I'm almost in tears right now, Dr. Martha, because I haven't been taking care of me while I'm doing this. So thank you for reminding me. I feel really moved right now to, even though I talk about this, like to walk my talk even now. You know, I have 30 minutes to honor my body, to honor my spirit, to be one with my goddess nature. And it will probably make me more efficient with my application. I will be more myself in the videos. And you're reminding me that, and I know this and I teach this, and you're so sweet to say you've been following me, but I'm still a hot mess from time to time. When I forget to fill up my tank first, when I forget to support me first, when I forget to value and honor me and trust that the universe has my back. So I'm really grateful for your reminder and your vulnerable share, and that we have 2 divorces in common. and we have our self-care in common, and that we're on opposite sides of the planet right now, and I feel so connected to you and so grateful for you. And I'm just, yeah, so glad that there's a sister goddess who does her work. So thank you so much. You're such a gift. Wow.
Yeah, I really, really admire you, and yeah, you're just beautiful, and thank you so much for sharing so openly. Even as I'm saying all these things and talking about orgasmic yoga, I'm also reminded that wait a minute, when was the last time I actually took 30 minutes for myself?
Right?
So a lot of times we teach this, but we have to keep going back to the practices, because we cannot I feel that I cannot be a hypocrite. I cannot be teaching this to people and not doing this in my own personal life.
Yeah, exactly. So I want you to say your book again so we can all get it. What is the name of your book again?
Oh, thank you. So it's called Orgasmic Yoga. It's available on Amazon. I actually have 4 books, but Orgasmic Yoga is really the one, you know, that is applicable to all the things that we're talking about right now.
Stunning. And so 30 days of 30 minutes orgasmic yoga practice. Okay, I know that I require this. I'm going through lots of changes and where I'm going to live and the app and all these things. And I know I do really well with structure. So I hope my assistant is still watching live right now. So my request is make sure I know I say my morning practice, right? But I often meditate, ask a bunch of questions, read a bunch of affirmations, do a bunch of gratitude. Like I still have a good morning practice, but it's different than slowing down and letting go and becoming one and feeling and connecting. It's different. It's different. Even sitting there meditating at my altar is still me. Oops, sorry about that. I almost knocked us over. Is me upright, right? Sitting and doing meditation, like, but just lying down and being with myself. So I commit to you, Dr. Martha, my 30 days for 30 minutes. And you are the hugest gift to all of us today for being with us on this IGTV. We're going to get your book, Orgasmic Yoga. And I can't wait to tell you what's happened in 30 days from now, because you've inspired me to love myself and value myself and walk my talk. And exhale. All of us just exhale more deeply and connect in. There's so much there. We are held. I just forget that sometimes, and you've reminded me today. So thank you so, so much. Is there anything else that's going on in your world that we can tell people about? And then you need to go to sleep because it's really late in Singapore.
Yes, thank you. So I'm running a festival. It's a virtual sex festival. It's happening in 7 days. It's called Sugar and Spice. It's an Asian virtual sex festival.
Okay.
And we have presentations, we have panels, and we have workshops. There are 12 sessions, 30 presenters over 5 days.
Wow.
So this will yeah. So so this
You've
will be
been a little busy too. You need your 30-minute. We both need the 30-minute practices.
So this will be the 3rd time that we are doing this. And
wow.
Yeah, this is the 3rd time. It's a lot of work. It's been a lot of work. I haven't made a single cent. All the money has been going back to the festival. And the reason why I started this festival was because I have been part of several sexuality festivals through COVID, and there was nothing for Asians. You know, there was nothing. I would usually be the only Asian, and that's it.
Okay.
And so I was looking around and asking myself, there must be lots of us, and there must be many educators, and all of us have a message. We just need a platform. And so I created the festival for that purpose.
Well done. Well done. And so for those that are interested, where do they go to sign up?
Yes. So please visit sugarandspice.asia.
Sugar
and
and
of course,
spice.
yeah. And of course, even though the faculty is Asian, you know, we don't discriminate.
Am I allowed to come? Okay. Okay, good. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, so in conclusion, I just so appreciate the gift that you are to all of us, and your point of view and your authentic practice and your own personal journey, and allowing us all to really see self-pleasure as self-love. And that when we fill ourselves up and can give from the overflow, how every other area of our life improves, and that our bodies are beautiful and our sexuality is sacred. Sugar and Spice is your event that's coming up, and orgasmic yoga. Did I get that right? For one of your four books. So normally I say from your heart to the viewers, but I'm going to say from your sacred yoni to the viewers. What are your concluding thoughts, my love?
Yeah, to treat every single part of your body as sacred, because we are sacred, and it's not just one part. However, our genitals are definitely sacred as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, to think of yourself, to treat yourself as sacred, and I know you teach this, which is to really go on dates with yourself, to really love yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
That was a big part of my healing as well. To spend money on myself and treat myself as the precious person that I deserve to be treated, and not wait for someone to do that for me.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for reminding us to honor and value and cherish and treasure. And by doing that, spend time, spend resources, spend money. Everything you can do can be just a little more delicious. Like if you're just sitting down for breakfast, just that extra little candle, right? Sometimes I have a little pot of glitter and I put it on my nipples, or I put it behind my ears. Nobody knows, but I know that there's a little glitter on my body just to anoint the goddess. And maybe I'm dorky, but it works. It makes me feel special and loved and cared for. So whatever works for you, viewers, we're so glad you're with us today. Please follow Dr. Martha Lee if you haven't already on Instagram and the Sugar and Spice event, and grab her books. And thank you for being with us today. And I invite those of you, 30 days of 30-minute sacred sexual self-pleasuring practice. I know this is what my body and my soul and my spirit needs. I love you so much. Thank you. Giving you a hug.
Oh, thank you. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's keep in touch.
Absolutely, my sister. Absolutely. Love to all of you. Mwah. Until next time. Bye.